For over a decade, we watched Ross Geller and Leonard Hofstadter fight tooth and nail for the women of their dreams. We framed it as the classic underdog story, the nerd finally winning the heart of the prom queen. But if you peel back the layers of their desperation, a darker reality emerges. These weren't just romances, they were legal defenses. These men were performing for an invisible courtroom, pleading their case to an audience that wasn't even in the room. They weren't just dating Rachel and Penny, they were using them as high-stakes exhibits to prove a point to their past. The tragedy of their love is that the target wasn't the woman standing in front of them, it was the ghosts haunting their own identities. Leonard's rebuttal to the cold mother. For Leonard, every romantic milestone with Penny was a strategic strike against his mother, Dr. Beverly Hofstadter. Beverly didn't raise a son, she conducted a lifelong experiment, treating Leonard as a failed biological sample, emotionally redundant and socially inadequate. In Leonard's mind, he was a reject until he found Penny. Penny was the literal antithesis of everything Beverly stood for. She was warm, impulsive, and vibrantly alive. By securing the most socially dominant and attractive woman in the building, Leonard was staging a coup against his mother's cold logic. He was silently screaming at Beverly, "Look at me. If I am the worthless loser you claim I am, how did I land the woman you could never hope to understand?" To Leonard, Penny wasn't just a soulmate, she was a living rebuttal. She was a trophy of worthiness he used to shield himself from a mother who spent 30 years telling him he wasn't enough. Ross and the reclamation of masculinity. Ross Geller's audience was entirely different. He didn't need to prove himself to his parents. To Jack and Judy, he was already a god. Ross was performing for Carol Willick and the ghosts of his own high school insecurities. Carol didn't just leave him, she replaced him, shattering his golden child narrative and leaving his ego in ruins. This created a profound sense of masculine inadequacy. To fix it, he reached for the ultimate prize, Rachel Green. Rachel was the alpha girl of his youth, the girl every popular athlete and cool kid wanted. By finally winning her, he was attempting to rewrite his history and erase the shame of his divorce. He needed Rachel to be the most beautiful woman in the world so he could finally feel like the most powerful man. She wasn't just his partner, she was a validation stamp, meant to announce to the world that he was no longer the divorced loser, but the ultimate victor.
You two are really gonna enjoy that couch.
Oh, yeah, we're not together, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah, something didn't quite add up there.
What's that supposed to mean?
Ross.
Well, you, her. I mean, she's very, and you're like,
The burden of the prize. The tragedy of this trophy love is that eventually the person becomes a tool. When you marry someone to prove a point to your past, you stop seeing who they actually are. Leonard spent years trying to intellectualize Penny, not for her sake, but to satisfy the academic voice of his mother in his head. Ross spent years trying to possess and control Rachel, not out of love, but to silence the paralyzing fear of being humiliated again. They were so busy displaying their medals to their ghosts that they often forgot to be present for their wives. They didn't just marry for love, they married for reputation repair, and in the end, they proved a painful psychological truth. No matter how perfect the partner is, they can never heal a wound that you refuse to face on your own.